www.999wefm.com. WeFM News online on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent's Limited.
Sensational savings are here this summer at Quartz Optical. Get a free pair of designer sunglasses with your glasses purchase. Now that's sensational. Free sunglasses and your glasses, and you can get it all with no cash. Choose from our flexible credit terms from 3 to 24 months to repay. At Quartz Optical, the savings are sensational. You don't want to miss these deals. Conditions apply. See in store for details. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, the first shipment of fuel under the Petrocarib agreement should arrive in St. Vincent and the Grenadines before the end of August 2022. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Conserve said this shipment will be delivered to Vinnex facility at Lomans Bay, which has the installed capacity for almost 50% of the electricity which is produced and what is consumed. Dr. Gonzalez said that the fuel under the Petrocarib arrangement is acquired at 35% discount off the top. Other areas under agreement with the government of Venezuela include shipments of urea fertilizer, asphalt, and the 150 prefabricated houses for families affected by the eruption of La Soufrière. The Prime Minister, while speaking on NBC Radio earlier this week, said during his recent trip to Venezuela, he was able to meet with the relevant authorities concerning the $9 million loan from the Alba Bank. Those monies will go towards the redevelopment of Little Tokyo and to augment the fishing fleet program. A health update was given on Government Senator Julian Francis, who needed to seek medical attention after suffering a stroke on Sunday. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Conserve said he has received a report on Senator Francis, who is in Barbados receiving medical attention. He was flown there after doctors at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital conducted a CT scan which revealed there was bleeding in the center of his brain and it was slightly swollen with an elevated blood pressure. The pressure is coming down, it is trending in the right direction, and the bleeding has ceased, and so too the swelling, Conserve said, while speaking on radio this week. The Prime Minister said there is no deterioration, in fact, there is improvement. Conserve said, we continue to pray for him and let the doctors do their work and let him heal. Still on the local scene, Venezuela's Minister of People's Power for Foreign Affairs, Carlos Faria, held a meeting last Saturday with Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez in Caracas, in which they reaffirmed the close bilateral cooperation and ties of friendship. The meeting was conducive to strengthening bilateral relations of cooperation between the two peoples, boosted by their membership in the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America's Peoples Trade Treaty. The meeting reviewed the bilateral agreements signed in different areas for the mutual benefit of the peoples. President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, received the letters of credence from the appointed ambassador of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Gareth Bino. During a meeting with Ambassador Bino and Venezuela's foreign minister, they agreed to strengthen relations of friendship and cooperation, always aiming at the benefit of both peoples. On to news in the region. Jamaica's Finance and Public Service Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, says the 15th Population and House Census that gets underway on September 12th is vital for decision-making at the policy level of government as well as the business community. Critical decisions are informed by the data coming out of the census. The census is more than just a count of the population. It also captures information on the housing stock in the country and key social and demographic information that informs policy. It helps us to determine where to put schools, clinics, and where to locate other government services. The census is important for all of us as Jamaicans, Clark told legislators. He told the House of Representatives that in a few weeks he will be signing into law the 2022 Census Regulation and Order codifying the conduct of the census by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. The New Grenada government on Wednesday signaled that the post-cabinet news conference will now be held on a needs-only basis, departing from the weekly exercise of its predecessor. If there is nothing substantial to report, there won't be a press briefing, said Tahira Carter, the newly appointed press secretary to Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, who led his National Democratic Congress NDC to office on June 23rd. Earlier, a Government Information Service GIS statement had informed the media of the unavailability of the July 26th post-cabinet press, adding, "Please be assured that government remains committed to keeping the public fully informed of its policies and development activities." Carter, who formerly worked at the GIS and the St. Lucia-based Communications Department of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean Commission, the OECS, told reporters that whenever a post-cabinet briefing will be held, they will be notified and that reporters should submit ahead of time questions requiring data. On the international scene, two former Minneapolis police officers who assisted in the fatal arrest of George Floyd have been sentenced on federal civil rights charges. J. Alexander Queng and To Tao were convicted in February of violating the unarmed black man's civil rights by failing to provide care or intervene. Queng will spend 3 years behind bars while Tao was sentenced to 42 months. Mr. Floyd's death, filmed by a bystander, led to global protest. For 9 minutes, while lead officer Derek Chauvin knelt on Mr. Floyd's neck, Queng held his feet while Tao held back bystanders. Chauvin was convicted last June of murder and is currently serving time in state prison. In December, he pleaded guilty to federal charges of violating Mr. Floyd's civil rights, averting a second trial. And finally, in sports, the Euro 2022 final between England and Germany at Wembley will be a great football feast, according to Germany boss Martina Voss-Tecklenburg. Alexandra Popp scored twice as 8-time European champions Germany beat a spirited France side 2-1 in the second semi-final on Wednesday. They will now play England on Sunday in front of a crowd of up to 87,200 people. A peak TV audience of 4.9 million watched Germany seal their place in the final, with another 1 million streams watched on iPlayer and BBC Sport, a day after 9.3 million watched on TV and 2 million streams were viewed as England beat Sweden. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Quartz St. Vincent Limited.
It's time to trade in that old living room set for a brand new one at Quartz. For a limited time only, get 25% off any living room set with your trade-in. It's easy to take advantage of this offer. First, take a photo or video of your old living room furniture. Next, go on down to your nearest Quartz store and purchase your new living room set. Then, we will deliver your new living room set and haul away the old one at no extra cost to you. No cash, no problem. Pay with Quartz Ready Finance and you pay nothing for 30 days. This is a deal you don't want to miss. Supplies are limited. Act now. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home. Offer does not include Ashley living room sets.